You're listening to the Wicked Theory Podcast.
We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
And here we go.
Broadcasting to you live from the back of the mystery machine, where we're all out of Scooby snacks. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. What the hell was that? This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. That's how we open the show, because that's just...
that's how I roll.
That's who we are. That's who we are. That's what we do. These voices include mine. I'm Bill Sweeney. This is the thing we do. This is episode 143. I got Uncle Jay across from me.
That's right. I'm already drinking. I'm already a little in the bag.
Well, that's no bueno. And then I got Brother Bob on guitar.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Ooh, and this is episode 143.
That's right. We got some fantabulous prizes for you. You got 3 street punks from the original.
And where the prizes?
Crew?
Where the prizes?
This is a prize.
Like when somebody says, "Yeah, he's a real prize." You know what I mean? Like sarcastically.
You got 3 of them.
3 of them. 3 top dogs. Winners. We're winners.
That's true.
And
This is 144 or 143?
143.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what, Bill?
143.
I just realized, because I'm sorry I did some math.
Well, at least he did it off mic.
We are 3/4 of a way into our 3rd year.
I gotta take his word on it. I don't know. It's math. It's not what I do. Rule around here is no sports, no politics, no math. And I'm not going to do any of those.
Well, generally, it's like 143 weeks, correct?
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I'm going to, this week I'm going to...
156 weeks would be 3 years.
See?
Minus a quarter of that.
Yeah.
1 year, a quarter of a year, which would be 13 weeks.
I can't
you
do
get
this.
143 weeks. This is why I said I did it in my head.
Yeah, well, yeah. Should have left it there, man.
Have you ever skipped
Sorry.
a week?
It's like kryptonite for me. I'm like, cringing.
Did you ever skip a week? Like skip a show?
In school?
No.
Oh.
Like, have you gone consecutively 143? Or
I don't think
there was
ever...
1 week we didn't do it live. We did it pre-recorded and played it live over the Mixler, and I was in the chat. I think that's when I was in Florida visiting my parents.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I think that's how that went.
But other than that, rain or shine, Hanukkah, Christmas.
This is it.
You're
So
going
far, so
live.
good.
Yeah.
We're only.
I think we might actually have to do that again this year when we go.
Well, you know what? We are mere episodes away from 150. This is 153. 7 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you've got ideas of what you'd like to hear us
I got
do,
ideas.
send them in. Send them into podcast at wickedtheory.com.
Yeah, 156 would actually be 3 official years, 3 full years.
There you go. Now, that's just by going by episode number. That could be off. We got to go back to episode 1 and check the date on it. Because that's the thing, too. Because, like, although we didn't do extra episodes, like, I think the numbering is off by 1 or 2. So if you're running, like, just by, like, 52 weeks in a year, you know, by 3s, because it's 56. Yeah. And I feel like that's a fair, you know, because that's usually what I go by. But if you go by, because the first week we started, we dropped 3 episodes. So that doesn't really matter. If we're just going by episodes.
You
see what I'm saying?
What you're saying, yes.
We dropped 3 episodes when the show kicked off.
Okay.
So that throws it off. But for those of you playing at home.
So then that puts it at like 3 weeks later.
Yeah, it's something like that. So it's all
2 extra weeks later.
Yeah, it's within the month, you know? So,
all right, so
maybe we just kind of ball it all up at like 150.
Well, let's let Palmer go back and look through all the archives and figure that out.
Yes.
We'll send him an email since he's not hanging around with us.
Yeah, he could do it. Wesley probably knows this kind of a factoid offhand. He probably knows his stuff.
Yeah, he's been going back to the catalog.
He's building the Wikipedia page, I think.
Really?
If anybody could, it'd probably be him.
Well,
so
at least we can all go back and edit it.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for the article, Podcast IFAP 2 by Wesley.
Hey.
Well, we'll be number 1, so.
Hey, you know what? If you're a dedicated listener, man, we appreciate it.
Yeah, no matter
how deep,
you express
no matter how deep that
dedication.
love goes, All right, so this is 143. We got some news. We got some email. We mentioned sports for a split second there. We're going to break a rule a little bit. I don't know if we're going to get to it in the main show. We're probably going to roll it over to the after show. But Uncle Jay's got a list of football movies, and
technically it doesn't count because it's a movie.
Right, that's what I mean. That's the easy way in. That's the loophole, as the kids in legal department.
Well,
like to say.
it is Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
And we don't do sports here.
Right.
But I felt like the way we can actually cheat it a little bit is if I gave some recommendations of football movies to watch, during the week, If you had a little bowl, you can do a couple of flicks.
So people may have noticed that Ed's not here this week. And I got to pass on the old DCTV report, folks. He's definitely going to be there for this week. Him and Sarah checking out all the DCTV shows. This is the other show from the old Wicked Theory Studios, house of products for your entertainment pleasure. Check it out on a podcast service near you, DCTV Report. And they recap and go over and discuss all the DC live action TV shows that aired during the week, and then also news and scoop on upcoming shows and episodes and series. And we're probably going to have a little crossover with material looking at the news that we have in here. I know that they covered it too.
Right.
But and we'll get to that in a minute. Follow us on Facebook.
You and I got to raid the DCTV report.
We got to go over to the old
we just got to give it a little.
The DCTV compound and kick the door in.
Get a little edge.
Get a battering ram and storm it like some pirate radio.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little takeover.
Yeah, just
The one we got to wait for a week where they're out.
So basically, you guys want to break into Ed's bedroom at his parents' house.
No, we don't have to. We can edit right here.
We could just circumvent the whole process.
Yeah, I know. But I was just trying to picture Jay crashing down Ed's bedroom door.
Well, everybody knows I'm barely welcome.
Yeah, you're persona non grata, so you'd have to wear a mask or something. We come in with an anarchy kind of get up going on.
Yeah, I think in that house a Trump mask might work.
He can wear anything. You can take my my V for Vendetta, the anonymous.
I'm not sure
the anonymous
about them,
mask
but
I got.
they seem like
Remember.
very Republican.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. So anyway, go to the Facebook page. That'll bring you to the Facebook group if you want to check that out too. And in the group, we do a thing called Caption Contest. Contest is in air quotes because the prize is always an invisible box of nothing. It's just an excuse for us to put up a goofy picture and you guys kind of drop lines on it. And we're going to go over those later on in the episode too. Look for us on YouTube, Wicked Theory Studio, and that's it. That's it. We're done with the official business.
Yeah.
Send emails to podcast@wickedtheory.com. And that's going to do that. How about that? Huh?
Huh?
Huh? Huh?
That's
What?
the official business?
That's the official business. Let's see who's in the chat room.
Well,
We got,
you want me to go down the list?
Yeah, well, we got a couple people.
Well, we got you and me, right?
Yeah.
And then we got Paul, then we got Palmer.
Right? Yes.
And then we got Wesley Ryan Gaskins,
young
Wicked
Wesley.
Theory fanboy number 1.
Right, that's getting like if we can't music drop them every time we name
And then
drop.
we got Steph Muniz.
Hey, Sammy.
Sammy, how
Baby
you
doll.
She's in there as Sammy 87.
What's going on, baby doll?
And then
John Zombie John Thompson.
John Zombie John Thompson.
John the Zombie.
He's the zombie. He's the undead.
The man that created my Twitter account.
That lucky bastard.
That's right.
It's a high honor to be able to do that for Uncle Jay.
Match game extraordinaire.
That's true. That's true. It's true. He brought us the bucket of doom. You can hear that in an after show, only available now on the Patreon. They go over live if you listen live, but after a while they're just on the Patreon. Buck a month gets you.
Yes,
get
that's
you.
right.
Buck a month gets you all that stuff.
Oh, that's another official business. I did a Patreon
You did. You broke your cherry on the exclusives
with the brother Sweeney.
with the brothers Swing.
Sweeney Square.
Squeeze. Don't break. No. Oh my God, that's the podcast, right? All four of us. Sweeney Square.
Sweeney Square.
No, that would be like, cubed would be the three of us, but then we got four.
Well, that's what I say. That's squared, no?
No, squared is 2.
See, math. Again, that's what I get for trying to do the math.
Well, I wasn't trying to do math. I was just
I
trying
know,
to
but
be
I did.
fucking funny.
I fell into the hole. I fell into a math hole.
Is that anything at all like a YouTube hole?
That's I don't know, but people say that to me about me. You're a real math hole.
Math hole sounds profane, don't it?
It does. It does.
Fucking math hole.
You're a real math hole. You know that?
Yeah, well, when you preface it with fucking,
You know
it
what?
kind of like really amps
It's all
it
about
up.
the tone. I think it's a guy who like always corrects other people's math. Like, you know what I mean? Like, look at this math hole. I bet you if you looked it up, it's on like Urban Dictionary. I bet you it's already a thing.
Or a guy with a speech impediment.
What about a guy who's just like going around correcting everybody's math, but he's looking at everybody else as being the math holes because they don't know math.
Oh, okay, because they're ignorant. Right. They don't know their math.
Hey, you fucking math holes.
You guys are a bunch of math holes. I'm a mathlete.
there you go.
I'm the mathlete. You guys are the math holes.
Just had a brilliant idea.
There you go.
It should be the new PBS.
Kids
PBS shows. Get them to listen to math.
Right. It's like Square One TV.
Yeah, they're learning curse words in kindergarten, so you might as well.
Well, once you get them together.
Do you realize the three of us just broke all the fucking rules today?
Well,
in 12 minutes, you mentioned Trump, we mentioned football, and we mentioned math.
You can, hey, look, you can mention these things, but it's just about does it become how long?
Conversation.
And at least we're goofing on it, I guess. I don't know. As long as we're not all of a sudden getting into it, you know what I mean?
China.
This is the McGeekland group before it's the McLaughlin group, all right?
Wrong!
Zippity-doo-bop. I don't even know.
So
I got none
anyway,
of those lines, but that's a great Dana Carvey bit. All right. So anyway, moving it along.
Yes, moving it along.
But moving it along. Those are the people in the chat room. Those are the kids. These are the people in your neighborhood.
Oh, there'll be more later, maybe.
Yeah, maybe get a little bit later.
Yep. All I know is that I got scotch here.
Yeah.
And my pipe.
And your pipe.
Yeah.
And that's your materials. You're all set up, ready to go. These are live sounds of Uncle Jay.
Yes. I'm looking in the
I love
chat
that we
room.
bracketed the bit with the cap coming off and the cap going back.
Yeah. I'm looking at the chat room, and Wesley's like, "Are you sure that I'm number one? I mean, I might really be, but are you sure?" But Sammy joins us, and she's like saying, "Yes, Wesley, you are."
Yeah, don't worry about it, buddy.
She's soothing him for us. So thank you, Sammy.
Well, listen, if anybody is more of a number one fan than you, Russ, they're keeping it a secret. Let's put it like that. There might be somebody out there. It's possible, right? In the realm of possibilities.
Right.
There could be somebody out there who, when I post up from the backlog of the after shows that are 20 episodes behind, and you go, hey, I just listened to the one that this matches up with. And that means that you're re-listening to episode 123 for some reason. I think that means that you're number one, buddy. Just by, just because maybe you feel like you make videos for us.
Well,
he makes these cool videos he posts up where it's just clips of the show and he throws images in and shit. But, who else is doing that, buddy? We appreciate that shit so much.
Much appreciated.
Absolutely.
I turned to Sean Connery right there.
Yes. God damn it, man.
Governor Jones, shit on my face. All right. That's an Opie Anthony bit. I can't steal it. Okay. So with that, we're going to give him a game. You know what? Let's copy and paste this into the chat room if somebody hasn't already. But it's going to be Star Wars sitcoms. Examples include...
2 guys, a girl, and a cantina.
Nice.
All in the Empire?
All in the Empire.
I didn't write these.
I just picture it with All in the Empire. It's like Vader sitting in that same exact set. But he's sitting in the chair. It's not Archie Bunker. It's Vader. But all the dialogue and context is all about, Star Wars stuff.
Instead of Perfect Strangers.
But he's the only Star Wars character in it. Right? So Edith comes out from the kitchen. Oh, Archie. Alderaan.
Oh, Vader.
My Vader. Oh, Darth Vader. You blew up Alderaan.
Well, I'm just picturing.
Who's going to clean that up? Not me and Gloria.
So you always used to hear Archie pull up.
Right here, the car.
You kind of hear him come to the door, and they go, shh, Archie's home. So it'll be like, Vader's home. And then as he opens the doors, and then the door opens, and then he comes in.
So the question is, do you make... oh, he's here. Now the question is, do you take Vader and just take old Archie Bunker audio and pipe it through the filter?
Yes.
So it sounds like him in there, and it's just a guy kind of like acting it all out.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. He throws his toolbox fucking, lunch pail on the fucking table there, and it's all in the echo. It's all in, it's all in.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I'm sure you can get some. I'm sure you can get some James Earl Jones dialogue from other movies.
Or do you
they've done that already.
And work that in there.
Or do you get someone to redo it, right? Redub it as like an Archie voice through the thing, so you can get stuff like, oh, "Don't make me force choke you, dang dog." You can play with it a little bit. I'm your father.
There was before you get in, there was a a website that actually took bits and pieces of Star Wars and edited James Earl Jones's voice from other films.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of that kind of stuff all over the thing. Some of the funniest stuff though is like when they take other voices and put them in Darth Vader. Like when Arnold Schwarzenegger is the voice and stuff, you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
But the fact is, it has James Earl
Jones from
voice.
other movies, right? Doing the same bit, but now with James Earl Jones. I think I've seen it.
Saying, "Would you steal my silver brushes?"
Right? Yeah, it's all this crazy shit. Yes, right. I think that might be one of the ones that broke.
Stuff.
Oh, it's crazy stuff.
It's called Vader Sessions.
Vader Sessions. You're right. And it's so visual. But look that up, kids.
I was looking at something the other day. I'm sorry, since you guys were talking about YouTube videos real quick.
YouTube videos.
This goes to someone we checked something out of before. DJ Cumberbund. Remember him? He had the Ozzy Osbourne video. Okay, he did another one with Kiss and the Commodores.
Nice. Oh, I think I've heard that one.
It just came out like a few days ago, I think. Okay. Or no, maybe not. Maybe it's been out for a little while, but it wasn't getting a lot of traction. There was an article I read a few days ago.
Okay, something kind of got
someone noticed it,
and it kind of popped up.
They thought it was kind of like as funny as that, and it should get a little more attention.
Oh, sure.
So they wrote one of those, little blurbs that come up on my phone.
Nice.
But I was listening to a little bit of it because I couldn't listen to the whole thing, and it seems kind of funny.
We'll have to play it during the after show because I still
want to. I want to rock and roll until a little later tonight or something like that.
Until a little later tonight, not too late.
Right,
not too late. I love
because it's usually rock and roll all night.
Yeah, rock and roll all night, and then the line from the Commodores comes in. Yeah. Not too late. Yeah. All right. So we gave the kids a chat room game. We accomplished that much, trying to see where we're at.
Instead of Perfect Strangers, I put Perfect Stormtroopers.
And then I think now is the time that we get into the news. We do some newsy stuff. We we tell kids all about the things that have been happening that we feel are newsworthy. News o'clock. I'll just bring the volume down. Fuck it. There has to be an end in sight. Woo! All right, and this is our new background music for it, too. You like this one? I brought this one in last week. Parker! I dropped these pictures again. That was the bit last week. Sorry. So, I don't know. This could actually be the reboot report music because that could use a theme. You're listening to the Reboot Report on the Wicked Theory Podcast. Because every damn week, something else is getting rebooted from the 70s, 80s, or 90s.
A little rebooty.
Yeah, rebooty.
Rebooty.
The Rebooty Report.
The Rebooty Report.
Here's the Rebooty Report. Remember that stuff you love is back.
Some booty.
It's back. Everybody loves booty. The booty is back.
Booty.
Booty. So, hey, remember Roswell on the old C-dub? Oh, back when it was the WB? Right. Yeah, I liked it for like...
Teenagers as Aliens?
Yeah, I liked it for like 2 episodes.
Can I have my mic back?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that...
Yeah. How about...
I thought that was the...
Hello?
That one there.
Yeah, all right.
There you go.
Gee.
Thanks.
Thanks.
I got you one more time. Okay. I thought it was the soundboard.
If I really wanted to like drown you out, I don't need... I have 100 watts.
I'm sorry, what?
I could do the same thing with my amp.
Yeah, I know, and that just fills the room, and it's even worse for me. So,
yes,
fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough. So that's coming back.
Can I have the mic, please?
Yeah, the mic is up. I don't know why.
Hello. Now it's up.
Okay, it wasn't up all the way. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I saw you leave it down almost on one.
I gotta tilt this thing up so you can't see what I'm doing here.
Yeah. Hello.
Live and in studio.
I'm going to keep checking.
Artist.
As long as I see your hand on that, I'm going to keep checking.
All right. I meant to be playing with this one. And when I took my eyes off it, you know what I mean? I did that.
Okay.
All right. So I'm sorry. I wanted to get into this Foley artist that we had in the studio.
What? I had to do something.
With your bugles. All right. Enough goofiness.
We got a bag of bugles over here.
So Roswell's coming back. They're doing a reboot of Greatest American Hero. This is some other ones we didn't really cover too much. Charmed, which seems to have like half the cast not interested from the original show and are like a little annoyed. Like they've been all tweeting out like, we don't like this idea.
So
no one's involving you as of yet. So that's why you probably don't like the idea.
So 1.5 people don't want to do it and 1.5 people do.
Right, something like that. And Greatest American Hero is probably going to be a female and it's probably going to be someone of color. which is fine.
Can they use the chick that's Valkyrie in Thor?
Oh my God, that would be great.
I mean,
she's all over the place though.
Yeah,
that chick. Yeah, she's I call her chick. That's not right. She's not a bird. She's not a
she's-
baby bird.
no,
she ain't a baby bird.
she could probably kick your butt. So.
Yeah,
Well, she's climbing into A-list territory
Yeah.
with these A-list films now.
yeah, that blew her up completely. If she wasn't, as if she wasn't already like on trajectory too, because she's
Well,
great.
From what, Creed and Thor, and
Yeah.
there's a few things she's in.
And
Westworld and
Westworld. Oh, that's
I
right.
don't-
She's from Westworld, right? I forgot. She works for the company. Because that was one of the things too. Like I was watching Thor, I was like, "This is a shame," but like, where do I know her from? Like Gone Baby Gone. They're gonna make a TV series out of. And that's
Okay.
yeah, and that's a thing where it's
Where do I
like
know that name from?
So that's the Ben Affleck movie. That's based on like this big super bestseller. But it was a domestic thing where the husband kills the wife, or it looks like the husband that kills the wife. It's this whole kind of a thing. But I feel like it's a very recent movie that did really well, and I think like a lot of people are gonna like know.
Well, it's a really damn good movie. It's it was Ben Affleck's first outing as a director, and Ben Affleck really did no wrong as director.
No,
because
no,
of
no.
The Town and fucking Argo.
Right. Argo was friggin' phenomenal. I
Yeah,
thought.
so was The Town, and so is
yeah.
Gone Baby Gone.
But that's the thing. But the material though for Gone Baby Gone is the thing I question. So it's like. I can see them making a thing out of it, but it's like it just feels like one of these things that's like it's like if you want to do Hannibal Lecter, like a year or 2 years after it came out, like as a TV show.
Well,
I feel like, although the context of the story is different, I just mean like for something of a level that everybody was talking about for 3 freaking years, basically.
Right.
Well, the movie was based around a white trash mom whose baby went missing, and it was all about the investigation of a missing girl.
Right.
And the mother was white trash and whatnot, and there's this whole thing where the police may or may not be involved in the actual.
Are we mixing up movies?
theft.
I think I'm mixing up.
I think you are, yeah. Because and here's the thing: if it's only setting, if it's called Gone Baby Gone for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if they're maybe talking about a show based on the Casey Affleck character that's investigating.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'd have to stretch it into something like that, where you'd have to be like, okay, there's other stuff in the book maybe that the movie never used, so it's like it gives you another angle of cases he worked on. We can kind of do a thing where he's not on that particular case right away.
Right.
Yeah, we are thinking of the different things. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking of the Ben Affleck movie with what's her name in it, and she's the wife that he's accused of killing.
Right.
What is that called?
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, I know.
No, I feel that I mean, if they want to take that movie and make it like stretch it out over 8 episodes, I mean, I can see that with each element having like its own episode.
Gone Girl.
I can get that.
I was mixing it up
You're
with
mixing it up with Gone Girl. Yeah.
Too many Afflecks and too many Gons.
Too many Gons.
I'm going to get the gong
Gonfleck
on this one. Hey, all right. So anyway, but they're also they're doing a spin on Bad Boys where it's going to focus on Gabriel Union. It's like a side spinoff. Okay. So it's like it's in that family of cop show thing. Okay. And Men in Black is going to get pretty much like a full on reboot with like 2 new actors playing the main 2 investigators. Whether or not they're K and J remains to be seen, but we're going to kind of just try to follow 2 other kind of people.
Well, you can do anything with that. You don't even have to reboot it. You can just spin it off into its own thing.
Yeah, it's just another couple of investigators. Right. That's all. You know?
And it's not a bad idea. Mm-hmm. It's just not a great idea because it's already been done.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it should get traction. It should make money. You know what I mean? So
it's got more potential probably now that I think about it. Like they should make that a series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like granted it's going to be expensive, but that's just the kind of series it's going to be. It's a sci-fi show. It's like saying, okay, we're going to do Star Trek. Well, that's not going to be cheap either.
Well,
do this.
Even though Men in Black 2 and 3 didn't really channel well with audiences, it still made a shitload of money.
Oh yeah, international and all that.
They weren't bad movies.
No, they weren't. No,
they were solid for what they were. It's just because they were sequels, they didn't have to be great, so they weren't great. You know what I mean? They didn't write them to be great. They just wrote them to be sequels.
And Brolin, when he plays the young Tommy Lee, was phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
That was fucking phenomenal.
I thought he was really channeling him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Big time. I was actually very impressed with that.
All right, so that's kind of like a rundown of some reboots that have either we missed or got announced this week. Take and make of it what you will. You know,
Right.
On a long enough timeline, anything you want to see remade is going to be remade, basically.
Yeah,
Because now we're creeping into the '90s too, and it's also like now it's like the '90s stuff is in the wheelhouse, and so now it's like anything that's ever been on, basically up until like the '90s. It's actually open season because sometimes they'll bring shit back from 2000s.
You know what? Marvel has since rebooted Spider-Man only about for 4 years after Sony's latest attempt.
Yeah.
So. But with that character, it's a little different.
Yeah.
But
I see what you're saying.
You know what
I'm
I think in people's minds, some people, it's not going to matter.
No, it's not. And it seems like a lot of pilots this season, because pilot season just kind of kicked off for the TV studios. So that's why there's a lot of talk of it, because it's like, oh, okay, they're either greenlighting pilots that are reboots or picked up scripts that are, poised for reboots or making deals.
Pilots for reboots are a safer bet in their eyes. Because they worked once.
Yep.
Should work again. Let me see what you got.
That's why we get them for movies. Like the TV studios are kind of like digging deep into it now.
Yeah.
So
they're going to reboot Showgirls?
Hey, maybe.
Nice. That's awesome.
You could always hope. Yeah. They could also bring Saved by the Bell back.
Benny Livewire in the chat.
I want Saved by the Bell as a hard drama. And it's about Zach Morris going to like an inner city school now. He's a teacher.
And I want to see Dustin Diamond just miserable.
Well, then he doesn't get any work.
Screech.
Then we don't see him if we just want him to be miserable. Also in the news that they announced that the DC Comics has this live service, the streaming service that they're putting together. That Titans TV show is coming. Based on Nightwing and all the characters from Teen Titans, older versions. So another thing they've just announced that they signed is a Metropolis series from the guys who did Gotham. And following in the footsteps, it's a thing where the guy that you want to see is not going to be on this, even less than Gotham. Like at least Gotham has like a young Bruce Wayne and he's growing up, and we're going somewhere with it. This is going to be about Metropolis City, and it's supposedly going to focus on Lois Lane and Lex Luthor at whatever phase this is before Superman comes to be. And basically, like, the weird stuff that goes on in that city, these two will kind of track down and follow and stuff.
Well, I'm having a math issue. I'm sorry. But,
yeah,
aren't Lex Luthor and Lois Lane around the same age as Superman?
Yep. So why are they there?
So how are they there?
That's the thing. Like she's probably not going to be a reporter yet. He's probably going to be rich, but maybe not of any real power because his dad will probably still be alive.
So we're getting like Richie Rich in Metropolis.
You're getting like that, right? Where he's going to have the money.
He's going to be the 14-year-old kid with the money who nobody likes, and
resources.
Yeah, so it's going to be like Riverdale meets Gotham.
Yeah, maybe something like that. Sure. Funny note. Like I saw this badass kid, like one of these young kids who looks like a hard ass, like on the bus, and like he was calling his house, and he was like, "Yeah, just tell mom, just tell mom to make sure she tapes Riverdale for me, all right? Like just come on." Like he's like 19, 20, badass black kid, like you know what I mean? Just make sure she records it for me, please. I'm not even asking for much.
That's one thing I know. Some people they have no shame. They have no shame in public when it comes to certain things. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I was just surprised. I was like, this is a show for little white girls. You know what I mean? And here's this kid like just kind of pulled into it. Go ahead.
No, I've said this to you guys on the show before. I said it to Ed that I think the problem with DC is that there's too many fucking things that are not in the same universe.
Yeah.
And it's just all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what takes me away from it.
Because you know what happens is like you never get the actual thing. Like you kind of get like a flavor of the thing. Granted, with the DC TV shows, because they work in their own world, you can get that if you want to take that ride. But like to do something like this is almost beside the point. It's like I don't like it's all you're gonna do is a thing with Gotham where you're gonna have like weird bad guys and people who aren't the guy who normally fights these people. Like you know what I mean? Like on Gotham, that's what it is. It's like Bruce isn't old enough to really kind of fight all these fucking supervillains, but here they come into being one by one. And so that's what it's like Metropolis is going to be. Like, they're going to be investigating like a la Mulder and Scully. Lex will have the money and a little team of people to help out. And Lois will be like the inquisitive one, always asking the questions, like the investigator type, because she's a reporter. That'll be her default mode. And so it's an interesting setup. I get that.
No, I do
to make a whole fucking series out of it.
It's just there's too many standalone universes for DC that would piss me off because you have 4 Flashes, you got 4 Supermans, you got 3 Lois Lanes.
So it makes you wonder if it's got enough weight to it to be the draw that an online streaming service really needs.
It doesn't sound right to me.
It sounds like DC is going to be responsible for creating the downfall of superhero movies and TV.
Damn, that's a bold statement. Wow.
Straight from the Wicked Theory
they
podcast.
Will be responsible.
It's
like the snake eating its own tail.
It sounds like they're going to be the ones that are going to flood the market with the inferior product, or in some way seemingly inferior because it doesn't do what other universes are doing.
Right. It doesn't certainly doesn't transcend. I think as well.
So I think it's not going to hit home the way they think it will.
Well, this definitely won't.
You know, and they could end up losing some serious money on this deal.
So I was thinking, like, what are some? So now this kind of follows a mode, though, a little bit of like following like a show or a person, because Gotham does at least, follows young Bruce Wayne, and Bates Motel followed the young Norman Bates, and like Hannibal followed Hannibal before he was Hannibal, kind of like, you know what I mean. So I had ideas of like what are some other shows that we might get or we could get, you know, either like seriously or as a goof, and like so. Do you think we'll get like Camp Crystal Lake, where it's like we just kind of follow crazy things that happened at the camp, at the lake side, like? Maybe Jason is eventually like a kid who comes there, like in season 3, like, you know what I mean, and then we follow him growing up or something like that, and him finally drowning and all that, or I don't know, it was just an idea, you know what I mean?
All season you see him not learning how to swim,
refusing to learn.
Right?
No, I'm not going in.
Yeah.
Well, you would have to make those couple of seasons interesting because you're going to have a fan base that's waiting for Jason to pop up.
You'll have to have some other killer, some proto-Jason type, or we follow his mother.
It would have to be his mom because his mom would have to be nuts beforehand.
Yeah.
You know, that's all.
She lives like near she lives nearby town.
They're neighbors. You know what I mean? They live in the town.
You know, eventually, like, you know,
she works there as a maid. I think that was the story for her in the first place.
Something like that. I think she had something to do with it.
She was the cook or the maid.
I was also thinking, like, just not that I have a pitch for it, but like Whoville, like I could see them milking that because it's like there's a place we don't really need to. What happens during the rest of the year? Like I could see some really shitty studio guy pitching that. Like, you know what I mean? What does Cindy Lou Who do on a Sunday afternoon?
And who's making the Who hash?
You know what I mean?
Really?
Let's now we got it on HBO. I like the sound of it. Daycare on Elm Street. Maybe it's when Freddy's young, you know, and he's got to get really wants to play with all the knives.
Yeah.
You know, and keeps getting into the kitchen. I don't know.
Jerking off in the dishwasher.
Or it's like when, you know, how do you make him the pedophile kid killer appealing? You know what I mean? And much in the way you managed to do with Bates and Hannibal, you know, could you? there's a miss.
You got to build sympathy for him.
Mm-hmm. And there's not much really because he was a child molester.
Well,
he's
the bastard child of a thousand rapists,
right?
You know,
thousand maniacs.
Thousand maniacs. So what do you?
Yeah.
I mean, well, no, I'm saying you got to. You just turn it to like, look. It was not his fault.
Right. Just remind people every week.
Yeah. Well, you know, hey, man, it's this hyper-liberal thinking anyway.
We live in sympathetic times.
Well, on Freddy's Nightmares, they actually told his story. Remember that?
Yes. Well, I mean, it's covered.
Yeah.
It's covered in the lore. Mm-hmm. But I just, you know, I realized I was thinking about it. I was like, maybe you could do Jason. And, you know, you could probably do like a Hellraiser kind of thing if you want to delve into the world and all that shit.
So maybe Doll Hostel?
What?
Instead of like Doll House, you have Doll Hostel.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I was just trying to come up with something.
You were just straight up mashing them.
Yeah, kind of.
You were mashing things together. Yeah, so that's the kind of ideas I had. I don't know if anybody had any others, maybe, of the shows that like if you dialed back the clock, is there really, like, you know, young Sheldon?
Well, I think you
know?
still end up with Nightmare on Sesame Street.
You know, he's like, all right. Somehow Freddy ends up in the wrong fantasy realm.
Well, you know, he's Freddy. He's a puppet, but then you know he's not a nice puppet. No one really knows it until it's too late. You know.
Right, he only counts to 5.
Oscar's the one that no one believes that he's a bad guy. You know what
right?
I mean?
Well, yeah, because who would believe Oscar anyway? Because he's a douche.
You know,
right? Okay,
but it's only after first it's Elmo, you know, then it's maybe Grover.
Right.
You know, but then eventually, when it gets to be Big Bird, then they know something's going
it's serious.
on.
It's serious.
Something serious because Big Bird is tall.
Because Big Bird is tall.
Right. Big Bird is big. So
Bird.
Right? You know,
it's like Snuffleupagus.
The Snuffleupagus
is the last one standing. I think Snuffy.
Well, he's the one who starts like doing research and trying to
figuring it out. Yeah,
you know, because his best friend was like all like slaughtered.
Yeah, sure,
you know?
sure. And no one believes him because most people don't even know he exists.
Yeah, really.
All right, so that's basically all I had on that. I will say that Black Panther is selling out like hotcakes. If you haven't gotten tickets,
yeah, this is insane.
You might want to get them
what
now.
Are there numbers now? Because they were talking a couple of days ago that it was going to break a 120, which was the record.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And by now, I'm thinking it's like up to 150, because this is going nuts. This movie. And I actually have felt this since the very beginning when we first started.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is going to be gigantic. And, yeah, it's going to be a monster.
Black Panther is selling out every previous superhero movie in advance ticket sales, is the headline here.
So this is the new Civil War, new Winter Soldier.
Basically.
Yeah. And by the looks of the trailers and the commercials that they're working out with Audi, because they worked Audi into
Audi's
the movie.
got the car in it, yeah.
Every reaction I've seen from people is insane.
Yeah, Black Panther broke
Black
Panther broke Fandango's pre-sale ticket record for Marvel Cinematic Universe films in the first 24 hours. Previously held by 2016's Captain America: Civil War. That's me, actually. Fucking autoplay videos. The top 10 biggest opening weekends of all time, 5 are superhero films. At the top is 2012's The Avengers at 207. Those are opening weekends. Let me scroll down a little bit. Industry analysts.
I'm sure Force Awakens is up there.
Industry projecting about 130 or higher. But they caution that's still a little too early to tell. Black Panther is generating the kind of buzz that's usually reserved for a summer movie season.
So basically, Marvel is extending the summer blockbuster season all the way into February.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the heart of winter.
And it comes down to basically that this is more than just a movie. It's a cultural event that is a milestone on many levels.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, while it's not technically not the first black superhero, it's the most well known of black superheroes, probably. Generation-wise, I would say Blade, you know, made its way and all that, and it was technically the first black superhero on film, but in a movie. But it's a thing that's like now culturally, like, you know, that
T'Challa's been around since the 70s.
Yeah, I think generationally, it crosses broader spectrum, and it's got he's got a fan base that's been wanting him forever.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
That's true.
That's a bigger fan base than Blade ever had.
They've wanted that since the early days of when Marvel was making movies.
You know what I mean?
The X-Men and I mean, I know Wesley Snipes was attached to it for a while.
Absolutely.
There was a script floating in Hollywood in the 90s, I believe.
So
I think that the fact that this is about a king who is also a superhero.
Yeah.
You know, he's a king of a very powerful nation.
Yeah.
You know, is going over, you know, is a big part of why he's so popular.
Yeah, well, that's the nature. I mean, that's just inherent to the character. I mean, that's who the character is. It's
you know, when you compare him to other characters who came out around the same time, like Iron Fist.
Right.
You know,
That's a good point.
You know
just in
I
character.
It's like I think he's become the icon that he is. Because of how he's written, you know what I mean?
Right. The very nature of how he's different.
He's an elevated character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. He's not just a street kind of guy. Right. And actually, the way that Marvel uses him in the last 20 or 30 years is that he is, you know, one of their core. Like, you know, when Marvel's Illuminati cabal took place in the comics there in the early aughts,
Right.
It was Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Captain America, Black Panther, and maybe like one other person or something like that. And those were the guys who were pulling all the strings because they're the most powerful and the smartest guys.
Right.
You know?
Someone probably from the mystical side of things.
Well, Doctor Strange. But with that, I think it just goes to show that this movie is going to be a force to be reckoned with. That people, I think, are probably missing the mark.
Yeah, this is going to be like a $2 billion movie.
I think it's going to be number one for 2 weeks in a row, or 3 weeks in a row. Yeah. Like some unheard of kind of longevity on this one in the theaters.
And
I think we're going to be hearing about crazy numbers everywhere it plays.
Yeah.
And Claw is the villain, right?
Yeah.
He's one of.
Yeah, this is like a 2 hour and change movie, right?
What's his name?
Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah, is in there as this other main bad guy. He's actually the main physical villain.
Right.
You'll see him running around. He's the gold leopard kind of a thing. Like
Claw is Andy Serkis. He was seen in Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
The guy with one arm.
Mm-hmm. And Civil War, right? Doesn't he pop up in that?
Is he?
Yeah, I think he gets a quick cameo in that too. But so it's the next chapter in the Marvel ongoing saga. So as we get closer to Infinity War, I think this might be the last outside of Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think this is the last
outside the main story.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like Solo.
I think so. The next one would be Spider-Man's sequel, but that's not going to be until after.
It's after.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like the next thing, like I think it's this, Ant-Man, and then
we're going to start going into the Infinity War, which is going to be in 2019, right?
Yeah. I think the next thing is
we're getting Infinity War in like November, and then we're getting like the Part 4 in 2019, like midpoint. Like
I don't know how long they're spacing it out. It's a good question because Infinity War is split in half.
It's like Spider-Man's 2020.
Right.
So, Infinity War 4. I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah,
it's going to be. It's got to be like late in 2019.
Yeah, I would think so. I'm just saying, like the next 3 movies, though. I think it's Panther, Ant-Man, Infinity War.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so go get your tickets, kids. Basically, that's the whole point of that.
Mine.
Yeah. So after that, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, baby.
This is for all you old people who like old guys who are going to die on film.
Clint Eastwood will never be old, man.
No, never.
No.
He's timeless.
Yeah. So is my balls. They keep changing.
That's right. Your balls are 87?
Well, I feel like it sometimes.
I think they're gestating his DNA right now so they can get create hearts for him to keep him alive.
That's what. He's on something. He's on something.
Want me to take it?
Yeah, this is you.
Well, I'm a huge Clint Eastwood fan.
That has nothing to do with the story, though.
Yes, it does. It has everything to do with the story. That's why I'm enthusiastic. No, there was a guy. His name was Leo Sharp. Mm-hmm. Now, Leo Sharp got busted for cocaine when he was 87.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And he got busted, and he did 3 years.
Okay.
He got thrown in jail for 3 years, except he got out in 2 because he was, ailing in jail. Mm-hmm. So they let him go.
Gotcha.
And he died shortly after that. But he was one of the biggest drug mules.
All right.
At his age, in his late age. Imagine that.
Yeah. And was he doing it for... You don't know much about the story. You're kind of pulling this off the article, right?
Okay. Well, I kind of heard of this guy before.
Right.
And
I wonder if he was doing it for a long time or if it was something he picked up doing in his later stages because it was like, I'm wondering what the story is. It's compelling enough with that as a setup. Basically, I guess is what's happening in my head.
But Clint Eastwood, who really just directs these days, he hasn't done a movie in a while. It's been like 5 years, 6 years since he's done a movie. It was a baseball movie, too.
Which one was that?
It was called Trouble with the Curve. It was him and Amy Adams.
Oh.
And he was like a scout. He was like a baseball scout.
Guess there was some trouble with that one.
No, it did all right.
Yeah.
But so Leo Sharp... there is a movie, I guess, that's a script floating around.
Okay.
And he's basically wants to produce, act, and direct in it. And he's the exact age as the guy when he got busted.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that this might be a good thing for him.
No, it sounds like perfect material.
So you're thinking by the time he's done with this movie, he'll be ready to drop dead like the guy in the movie?
I don't know, man. Clint
that
Eastwood,
timing is still going to be there.
The thing is, I would say yes to any other actor, but since Clint Eastwood has always been fucking like cock diesel his whole life, and pretty much the epitome of health.
Well, seems
I mean?
like it. He seems indestructible for sure.
I wouldn't.
He's definitely like one of those old guys that it's like I'm not fucking with that grandpa.
He's not like Stanley.
No.
Stanley, you think if you just touch him, he's going to turn to dust.
Right.
Yeah, no. Clint Eastwood looks like he'll punch in the fucking face.
Yeah, like he's going to make a move. Like he's definitely going to make a move. Even if he hurts himself in the process, this guy's coming off the fucking porch.
Right.
Unless I get off his lawn.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And what's great about it is that anybody else when he talks about himself,
right,
he'll talk about how old he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas really he's fucking indestructible. You know what I mean? And where other people who are like fucking 90 are like, oh, I can still do it, and they're like dead in mid sentence.
Okay.
But no, I can easily see Clint Eastwood surpassing 100 years at this point.
Yeah, well, that guy's never he's going to live forever, Jay. Don't you worry about it.
He would have been my choice for Pilgrim, for Garth Ennis' Pilgrim.
Of course.
Because that role is tailor-made after Clint Eastwood.
He's still my choice for Dog Tower. Even as old as he is.
But
maybe even more so. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? He can still, he's 87 and he could still fucking pull it off.
Absolutely. And that's just a beautiful thing about him. So we're supposed to, rumor has it that we're going to get a solo trailer in the old Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Keep your eyes out, kids. I'm sure it will break the internet in half.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Where half the people will love it, half the people will hate it.
Just a little bit.
Then more or less Jedi banter will come around.
It'll just.
It hasn't stopped. Rianne Johnson is still getting all sorts of shit on Twitter about the movie.
But he's defending it. I mean, he's
he had a couple of interesting things he tweeted out. Like, at one point he pulled a 3-picture tweet of him going to his shelf, pulling a book, Star Wars Encyclopedia Fantastica or some fucking thing. So, of the Jedi,
right.
and flipping 3 pages and going and pointing to an entry where it's like astral form projection works like XYZ, blah, 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 though rarely seen. So he, all right, guys, what do you want me to tell you? If you're arguing about, some aspect of Luke doing the astral projection, here's a thing that backs up the fact that I wasn't just pulling shit completely out of my ass.
Why the fuck not, man?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, so look for that, kids. That's pretty much all that comes down to. Look for the solo trailer. I want to kind of tighten up a little bit. Also, crazy news, probably perfect casting, if ever there has been. Tom Hanks is probably going to play, looks like he's going to play Mr. Rogers in an adaptation of that dude.
Hi, neighbor.
Hey, neighbor. Yeah, I mean, I just picture it just all you got to do is take Mr. Rogers and just paste his head on it. You know what I mean? And it's exactly,
That's pretty much who he is, basically.
You can't, you know what I mean? Perfect casting. Just, I don't know what else to say. I just hope the movie's
if Tom Hanks
is as good as it sounds.
At this point, if Tom Hanks ate babies, I don't think it would matter to people anyway.
Well, not if he was doing it as Mr. Rogers. I'd be fine with that.
Is Mr. Rogers going to be in Vietnam like they say he's on Facebook?
We'll get the,
with all the tattoos.
We'll get the crazy Facebook internet version.
Get the full sleeve of the Asian tattoos.
That'll be the memes. They'll be making those memes, I bet you.
Just as much as you say that Tom Hanks, how he's like the nicest guy in the world and everything, to prove what kind of amazing actor he is.
Right.
When I saw Road to Perdition, which is basically a graphic novel that they turned into a film. He was a gangster.
Yep.
He was a guy, I wouldn't want to fuck with that guy. Because Tom Hanks played this gangster guy, if you said the wrong
Tommy
thing.
Callahan or something like that.
He would have shot you in the face. You know what I mean? He was just that.
Yeah. He was cold. He was very cold.
He was a very cold and chilling guy, and easily he can just turn it off like that.
Yeah. I think
and that's the brilliance of that performance.
Well, that's the thing with Hanks. Hanks really hasn't played a lot of really kind of at the edge types. Right. You know what I mean? Gritty guys, or and it would probably be a hard sell. You know what I mean? Has he ever played a crazy person or a true villain? I mean, he's got this newer one, Red Circle, that he was in.
Party? I mean, does that kind of crazy
early
count?
in his career, he played kind of like half D-bag types once in a while. Like lovable D-bags, as I'd call them, from the 80s.
He was in drag on TV for several seasons.
That's true. Well, just for kicks.
The thing that I want to mention of that is because Road to Perdition is a example.
Sure.
Of how chilling he can be.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right,
When
right.
you turn it off. I mean, granted, the role makes it sympathetic for him because of what they do, but he's just that. He's like a motionless guy. He's not smiling or nothing. It's a very chilling performance. I thought he had some really good grit in Saving Private Ryan, which
course.
is a different.
Yeah.
But I think there was a movie about, ironically enough, stand-up comedians called Punchline.
Sure.
And he was an asshole.
Yeah. Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so which is a movie about comedy, but he was that
Sally
much
Field.
of a arrogant asshole.
Right.
Which is he's not a likable character whatsoever.
No.
So that's an interesting performance too from him.
But they turn it around in that movie, I think.
Because you feel bad again.
Because you get to know him and you start to see through it. And but his assholeness a lot in that movie is about not giving her a fair shake as she's trying to get through, and he's just giving it to as hard as possible. It's like that super tough love kind of
his
a
own
thing.
horn too, in a little bit. Like
Well, yeah. It's a lot of ego stuff. She's coming to me for help. I'm going to make it hard as fuck on her. It's like, it's the teacher who's going to just make it impossible for you to succeed.
Right.
Like that's his style kind of a thing.
$1 million.
You see, but that was a film that was
You ain't any good.
when he was doing comedy
Krusty
after
the
comedy. When he was doing comedy after comedy, this was a movie about comedy,
Right.
and it was a little more of a dramatic performance. So that's another.
That's some edge to it. That's some edge to it.
But yeah, that's it.
But so I was thinking about this in general, and I thought that there's not many other movies that you could do like this. But I thought Galifianakis maybe as Captain Kangaroo. Just I know visually that's like a softball.
Yeah.
But and I was thinking how because I think Captain Kangaroo is like that dude's like notorious like behind the scenes for being an asshole.
What about Robert De Niro playing Mario Cantone for Steam Pipe Island?
There was a time, maybe. I think the window is passed. I think you gotta go somebody else now for the Mario Cantone story. I mean, sure, it's Dreamcast.
Rami Malek.
There you go.
There you go.
You got more likely. More likely. It's more age appropriate. I don't think Bobby De Niro's giving Mario Cantone a lot of time a day.
No, but I'm sure they met.
Who's
at
on the
one
phone?
point.
Who?
Steam Pipe asshole?
Who?
Didn't I tip him at the bar?
Who? Like, he's saying it because he's squinting so much he can't see who's talking to him. Who? Who are you? Who, what?
He doesn't have to squint anymore.
Fucking Bobby D. All right, so listen.
His forehead is just like falling over his eyebrows.
So
his
Jay,
eyes.
do you have the doc open?
Yes, I do.
Because we have supposedly a shit ton of entries for the chat room game. So
I have mine. Up. Just give me 2.
Yeah, I can blow through this.
okay, well here's the thing.
It's in a doc, right?
Yeah, it's in the doc. So let's try to keep it organized a little bit as we go through it, because we'll all tend to lose our places since there's 3 of us, and it looks like we're all going to want to read from it.
At the bottom? Well, I'm just trying to help out, right?
Yeah, well, I mean,
I mean, I can. Whatever you want to do.
whatever you want to do. I see Bob Sweeney is logged into the document.
Oh,
I was like, whose icon is that?
is it leap year? Is it February 29th?
The document's like, meh, meh. No, okay.
Well, it did take a second to load up on my phone.
I just, your icon has changed. Your image has changed. So when it came in, I was like, who the fuck is that? All right, so.
There's dust on the icon.
It's got the words on it.
Yeah, it's got like you have some text-based image.
Yeah, I got tired of having my face all over YouTube.
Fair enough. So we'll just kind of read through them. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. Mm-hmm. The setup on this was Star Wars sitcoms, and so supposedly this kind of takes a left. It stops being less sitcoms as it goes along. They must have ran out of sitcom ideas. Examples of 2 girls in a cantina, 2 girls, a guy in a cantina, and All in the Empire. So we got from Sammy, who's the Sith Lord? I like that one, Jay.
Mm-hmm. How I Met Your Wookiee Mother.
Your Wookiee mother.
The Facts of the Jedi.
Nice. 2 broke stormtroopers.
The Jabba Show.
The Big Boba Fett story. Boba Fett theory.
Full Death Star.
Skywalker Matters.
Like Family Matters. I got you. Jedi Matters. I'm sorry. That was Bob's. Jump to the next one.
Jedi Matters?
Yeah, sure.
Or we're up to
I lost my place. Just
Han Solo Brown.
Han Solo Brown.
The Windu Show.
The Windu Show. Everybody loves Yoda.
Married with Jedi.
Yeah, that's good. Darth Vader Pains.
Saved by a lifesaver.
The Last Man on Dagobah.
Nice.
2.5 Jedi.
Perfect Stormtroopers.
I said that one too earlier, but
Nice.
you talked over me.
Well, that's what we do around here. We do a lot of that.
The
Sorry.
Big Force Theory.
Nice.
Young Skywalker.
You guys read them. I'll laugh.
I Love Jedi.
The Love Millennium Falcon.
Right, instead of Love Boat. Gotcha.
Right.
Nice.
Sith Van Dyke Show.
Sid Van Dyke
Nice.
Show. There you go.
There you go.
Oh, that's great.
Womp Rat Dynasty.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
What do we got? We got Dad's Army of Stormtroopers.
Nice.
I Dream of Leia.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Fresh Windu of Bel Air.
Nice.
It's Always Sunny in Dagobah.
Oh, I like that one.
8 Simple Rules for Dating Princess Leia.
That's good. That's good.
Anakin in the Middle.
Oh, my God.
Are you being served porgs?
Nice. Leia explains it all.
There you
Right.
go.
Nice. I used to
Yeah.
watch that,
Yeah,
Clarissa.
Leia the Teenage Princess.
Nice. There you go.
Solo's Heroes. That's good.
Nice.
That's So Leia.
Yes, Prime Minister Yoda.
I don't even know that one. That's some BBC shit.
The Boba Fett Show.
There you go.
Nice.
Coruscant PD.
Oh, fuck. That's pretty good.
God, the Sith, and Bob.
Nice. Nice.
CSI Tatooine.
Oh, okay. There you go.
There you go.
Boy Meets Empire.
No, there you go. That's every episode.
The Huts.
The Huts. Nice.
E.R. Hoth.
Nice,
There you go.
nice, nice. Oh, there you go.
There you
kids.
go.
Lots of bells.
Lots of good ones, guys.
Lots of good ones.
Funny.
That was some good shit. Stuff. Did I call it shit, though?
More than once.
But
You all get a big box of nothing.
Oh.
Hey.
Oh, everybody's favorite, a big box of nothing.
As per you.
Sponsored by nobody.
Sponsored by you.
That's true. I'll send that out today. I'm sending everybody. Hey, listen, if you can hear this, I'm sending you, and you get a box of nothing, and you get a box of nothing, and you get a box of nothing.
You realize now you have to send empty boxes in the mail.
I should. I should do it like the Marvel No Prize, right? I should just send an empty
You know what I
box.
used to say as a joke? I used to give everybody a handshake for Christmas.
There you go.
You know, I said, what'd you get? I got your handshake. Here you go.
There you go. Here, look what I got for you. I got some germs.
Yeah.
I got influenza for you.
I didn't wash my hands.
Nice. I got my last 3 bathroom visits. Here you go.
If you were nicer to me, I would have washed my hands first.
Nice. Puff, puff, puff.
Is it time for Meanwhile, Chief?
Is that what we do next?
Yeah,
I think so. I think so. I think I have
As per the doc.
Meanwhile. As per. Oh, forgive me. All right, so I'm just going to say real quick that
You got a shitload of shit in here.
I got a few things in here. And not to get into Star Trek Discovery deep, I was going to say that I've watched it. I'm up to date. I'm caught up. If anybody's kind of like into it and wants to catch up, by the end of the series, by the time the finale wraps, at some point right after that, for the season, we're going to do an episode, a special. So if any of you listeners want to watch it and catch up through various means, whether you subscribe to the service or not, however you find it is how you find it. I am not in charge of you. That would be cool, because we're going to kind of like do a special episode. Maybe we'll do it on the Patreon, on the Mixler, something, so if people want to kind of come in and hang out during it, as long as they know it's going to be like full-on spoilerish talk, they can do that. We're going to try and work it out with Ed. He's not here this week and all that same such. So, Ed, if you're listening to this after it's been recorded, you're in the loop now. We're going to do a special episode after the season wraps.
Right.
So that's that.
I was going to do the 3-day trial.
Sure.
And I was going to do it after
It wraps.
it wraps.
So you have all the episodes
Once you
there.
guys tell me that, I'll go and I'll binge it.
Well,
Very good. 2 more episodes?
2 more episodes with one coming tomorrow night, this Sunday, the 4th.
Okay. Very good.
All right, so it's on Sundays. So the next 2 consecutive Sundays, I believe.
Right. 4th and then the 11th, that would be.
Right.
All right. So, well, at some point after that, within the week.
Actually, it may not be tonight because tomorrow because of the Super Bowl.
Well, it's internet programming, so will they care?
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah,
it's still CBS.
It's an interesting question.
So,
I think they would probably post it up anyway. Counter programming to a certain degrry, and also it's like it's the internet age.
It's not like you got to worry about direct competition. with the Super Bowl because people can always download it whenever.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: how is Jason Isaacs on the show? He's Captain Lorca.
I like him here better than I've liked him anywhere else.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's the kind of guy that I want to like him sometimes and stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know.
He's been around a long time.
I watched him on a couple of shows, man. He's in a Netflix show. I forget which one. That show on NBC he had a couple of seasons back where he was like existing in like two worlds. Like a world where like when he went to sleep, he was in one place where his daughter and his wife were alive. And this other one where they weren't. Or one was alive and the other one was dead, and then it switched. Like the son would be dead and the mother would be, like, you know what I mean? Which one was a real world and which one was not.
Right.
He was in another spaceship film that I really liked called Event Horizon many years ago, with Larry Fishburne and Sam Neill. Yeah, he was the doctor.
Okay.
That was in that.
Okay.
And he was like, I think they brought him into, because he has a cameo in Resident Evil, I think.
All right.
The first one. And he's just been popping up in all these movies.
Yeah.
And he's always serviceable. He's always like intense.
And he's done a lot of series work where like, you know,
Yeah.
maybe he's he's probably done a shit ton of pilot stuff.
How is he?
Because I tell you, in this, as a captain, he works for me a lot because visually, like, he fills out the suit real nice. He comes off as a military type kind of guy a little bit, you know, taking control. And he's a different kind of captain here, as, you know, each one is very unique anyway. Wow. But not to get contextually deep, but, like, you know, he's doing they're doing a thing here.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
See,
so.
every show, every Star Trek show has followed the captain.
Right.
Right? It's centered around the captain. This show went out on a limb and said at the beginning is not following the captain. We're following the first officer, right? Who suddenly isn't the first officer anymore.
Right.
Some twists and turns happen early on in the season that, like, it's like, oh, we're following this character's, like, life, basically.
This is Sasha from Walking Dead.
Right.
Sonequa Martin Green.
And I'll say for her, too.
Right.
Like her here more than I like her. Like I liked her on Walking Dead.
This is a very, very strong role for her, and she's doing very well because it's a very difficult role.
Bob just took off his glasses. He's like, I'm getting fucking serious.
No, I was actually, my eyes were starting to get a little blurry.
It was very dramatic, though. Like, you didn't see yourself do it, but it was like, took them all kind of slow. You were talking a little slow, folded them left side, right side down, put them down.
He's Malfoy in Harry Potter.
Right, you know?
Right.
Yes, right. But anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't follow the captain, so his character as the captain ends up becoming the main reveal for the season, the biggest one so far.
Okay.
Anyway,
I will take a look. I will watch it.
It's got an interesting structure. Let's put it like that.
I like his as an actor. That's why I asked.
As a series, it's got a twist and turns.
I'll tell you, as a Star Trek fan, I like it better as not a Star Trek show.
Uh-huh.
Like if I'm watching as a fan of Star Trek, they're mangling a whole bunch of history, and it doesn't make a difference to them. I guess they're just trying to shake off everything. But as a fan of sci-fi, this is a fucking roller coaster.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. And the binge on it's really good because it was like one of these things where it's like it's got a movement to it. Like it feels like it's moving at a clip. Like episodes kind of have like a pace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's done well. Where some shows like things can move fast and it'll be kind of clunky a little bit. This has got some good people behind it who know what they're doing. But
there are moments where things kind of slow down a little bit, but just enough for you to get all the information you need for the next. You know. Yeah.
So on a binge, it's a good binge like that.
Yeah.
It feels like it's got like a real good pace to it. All right. Yeah. So
and you're gonna get emotionally involved in a couple of episodes.
So
if you're like me.
So also I caught the first episode of Altered Carbon.
I heard about that.
It looks amazing. And I like the setup and stuff. It just didn't hit me as hard as I think they wanted it to hit, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's good.
I'm hearing like the press on this is that it's probably the best thing on TV ever.
It looks like they spent a shit ton of money. and it's like it feels like a movie, at least by first episode standards. And if that continues, then amazing. But it's like, very much a Blade Runner world of the future. And the interesting concept here being that like, you can, they have a disc inserted into their spinal cord that records everything of their life. And you can quite literally be reinserted into another sleeve, another person at a later date. So if you die, as long as that chip isn't fucked up, it can be retrieved and you can be loaded into a new body.
Okay.
Full consciousness. It's not just like a copy of you type thing. So it's already the future when this guy gets killed. This badass dude, this badass Japanese heritage dude gets killed. And then, like, he wakes up 250 years later. So it's like, oh, you thought it was the future? No, we're pushing you way into the future, motherfucker. And then, so, basically, and from there, that's kind of like how it starts out, where, like, he gets woken up, and it's about who wakes him up, and the storyline that he's immediately thrust on, because...
So his soul was encased in his thing for 250 years before he was put into another body.
Right. So it's like a prison internment, right? So now, kind of a thing. Like that's how he gets woken up. He gets woken up, and it's like he was imprisoned, and now that you're out, you actually are owned by somebody, and you're like on probation and all that other shit too, type thing. So the guy who like bought him, got him out, is a super rich dude who recently was killed and came back. And for a technical glitch, can't remember the last 2 hours or 48 hours
of his life.
Because it didn't upload. The cycle didn't loop through and upload in time, and so that means that someone probably in this particular way. If you've watched the show, anyway, so it's like now he wants this guy to do the investigation and look into who killed me.
Right, like there's a window of his time before it uploads into the thing. So that over that period of time, he was killed, so he doesn't have those memories.
And he's crazy, super rich. This dude in this new future world.
And he wants to know who killed him.
Right, and he wants this guy to do the fucking to look into it. But meanwhile, it's kind of like an odd thing because this guy, while being a kind of like super criminal / badass, basically, it's like, the question is, well, why do you want me to? Like look for him, you know what I mean? This kind of a thing. So it's an interesting world where.
Well, that's easy. That's because he's expendable.
Well, he's expendable, but it's like it feels like too oddly of a mismatch to not kind of mean something more. It's like I'm not a detective. I'm not a detective.
It's probably a historical family member.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm wondering, like, how deep does the rabbit hole go? Because like you could now come back to life, and unless I know who you are, you could be my cousin. You could be my ex, or something like that. Like when I wake up now. However many years later, like for him in particular, he was held for 250 because he was in prison. But let's say, like you die and come back, they might put you in an old lady because they don't give a shit. And that old lady's body was the next one up to be used as a sleeve.
Okay,
so
you're
like, so like this, and at one point, like when he comes back through the process, like he sees that like they literally put like some 10-year-old kid who died in a car crash into this old lady, like, you know what I mean?
Really?
And like you only get a quick glimpse of it to show you like different variations of what this planet and this world, this government will do. Like, you know what I mean? As part of just processing this out, as this being a regular everyday thing. So it's like this weird shit, like you'll see, like kind of alluded to, and you're like, I want to know more about what the fuck happens to that kid, like / old lady, like, you know what I mean?
He only lived to be about 10 before he was put into an old lady.
Yeah, like because like
so he's gonna live another 5-10 years, and then he's gonna have to do this again.
And that's like what the father is saying as the main guy's like passing by. His father is alluding to some aspect quite like that. Right. Like, you guys just basically like gave him a death sentence, and it's like the hospital's like, hey, look, you get what you get, and that lady was up next, and your kid was up next, and it's like that's the way it goes, like, and it's like, this kind of shit. So there's a lot of weird, interesting stuff in the world. Okay. So I want to see more of the world and stuff. So I'm definitely intrigued. I'm going to watch more. Altered Carbon on Netflix. It's the series they've spent the most money on so far, and it looks it. Joe Kernahan or Cunanan or whatever his name is. Kinnaman.
That's
Carnegie.
That's Captain Flag.
Kingle Dingle. Yeah. He's always been a weird actor for me. He feels like he's always like a guy who's just like fell into acting. He isn't really that great of an actor.
Not Carnage. You're talking about Joel Kinnaman.
Joel Kinnaman, right? That's what I'm talking about.
The guy from Suicide Squad.
RoboCop.
Yeah.
He was on The Killing.
Yeah.
he's got a weird delivery, like, you know. So
You die.
Yeah, you die.
You die.
You die. I don't know. He's and even when I watched him on The Killing, which is like the show that broke him, like, you know, which was this dark, morbid fucking cop show. Like, he was playing a junkie. I was just like, this guy can't fucking act. Like, he's like, oh man, like, he looks good.
He's a
like,
little weak, yeah.
You know what I mean? And he'll do kind of crazy shit, like, and pull it off in the moment. But this whole voice and this acting thing, he's in this. Look, he's ripped to the fucking shreds. Yeah. Like, I was like, oh my god, like, it literally is a washboard. You can play with spoons on that. Fucking, that's. It was like, this guy is fucking way too chiseled. Could you please put your shirt back on? Yeah. Like, it's too much. It's distracting for me as a dude. Like, you look like it chiseled out of stone. Not cool. Like, I was actually kind of like offended.
And how do I get that?
Yeah, and like, it was mostly jealousy. I'll admit, it was mostly like I felt inferior and I covered myself up. I pulled my blanket closer.
Yeah, he's got a famous wife.
And spanked it. Oh, I'm kidding.
I don't know if it's Olivia Munn he's with or in real life.
I think so. Or he might have been with her for a while. Anyway, he's always been kind of like a rough sell with me as an actor. Right. And at least with this, he's playing a guy who's kind of like stoic and badass into a lot of short sentences. Yeah. Not a lot of heavy lifting just yet. Right. Yeah. So if he's got to do like emotional range shit at some point, I'm going to be like hard pressed. But we'll see. But we'll see.
I wasn't. You said RoboCop. I'm assuming the new one.
Yeah, right.
And I wasn't impressed with that in that movie. So
yeah, I mean, he's also in House of Cards, and he's pretty good in that. But even with that, he's like kind of he just feels clunky. All right, so and then the other thing I want to say is Netflix has Dirty Money, which is a mini doc series, and I watched like the first 3 or 4, and so it's all about just corporations, like, you know, getting caught, fucking the consumers and the government and stuff like that. Different stories in these veins. Volkswagen.
Yeah, I walked in on you watching that one.
Yeah, that was pretty good. HSBC Bank, and how, like, you know, basically they were fucking just been the front for every fucking cartel and criminal organization, money laundering for years, and basically still doing it. And how, like, they got caught and all that stuff. So it's really good, really good. That's just a couple of examples, but really good stuff, really well done. Strong doc series if you're into that kind of a thing. Right. You'll see it because it's new this month, so it'll be up in the recommendations probably because Netflix will just jam its own shit right in your face. So give it a shot. I liked it.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. Uncle Jay, did you have something you saw?
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Yeah, no. Hey, congratulations.
So I went to the
movie theater.
I went to the movie theater. I broke my 2018 movie cherry.
Nice. First movie of the year.
Yeah.
I got you.
Because Ed went to the movies, 30 times in,
the first hour.
25 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll go to Manhattan and walk from one theater to another.
Exactly.
A movie a day keeps the doctor away.
Right.
I think is Ed's motto.
So I went in. I went and I saw a film called Hostels, and that is a new Western.
Yes.
Not many come out.
No.
And this is Christian Bale.
Right.
This is Wes Studi, who was in Last of the Mohicans. He was also the Sphinx in Mystery Men.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the Indian guy you get.
Yes.
For every Indian film.
Very
Geronimo.
Fair enough. Yes.
Geronimo.
Yeah.
So it has Rosamund Pike from Gone Girl.
Okay.
Rory Cochrane, who's in. He was Slater in Dazed and Confused.
Right.
Saved by the Bell?
No, not that. Not that at all.
The little dude in Dazed and Confused.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a very gritty and deep, dark Western.
Well, I know I've seen promos for it, and I've seen a segment. I've seen a scene.
It's damn fucking good.
It looks pretty serious.
A lot of critics are hailing it as probably the best Western since Unforgiven.
Wow.
I can understand why they say that because as Unforgiven was a deep think into the psyche of an outlaw and how, killing a person can actually haunt someone.
Sure.
This has the same kind of deep thought into what the fuck am I doing in my life? You know what I mean?
That's someone of that era.
Someone of that. Christian Bale really is one of the finest actors right now. And watching this movie and watching him on that screen just show, and he's just a quiet guy. Like, you can't play quiet. There's a certain element that you have to use, and he just does it phenomenal. You know what I mean? He's like a cavalry guy or a captain of a squad, and he has to escort an Indian from jail. He gets an early release from jail, and his family. He's supposed to escort his family back to Montana, so that's like 5 states.
Okay.
And escort him with a little posse, and along the way they run into hostiles.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it's not just Indian hostile. It's Comanches. It's fucking rednecks.
Okay.
It's fucking a psycho guy. It's all these
a
different
series
people.
of okay.
And how hostile these people are in that fucking time.
Right.
You know what I mean? And how hostile he is defending.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't want to give it away. I want people to see this.
Right.
Because
right.
it's seriously a great fucking. This is a high stash for me.
Okay.
Right out of the gate. First movie I've seen in 2018, and it's this.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm hearing nothing but praise for Christian Bale in this movie.
Yeah, he is. I wish this would have came out last month.
Right.
Because then it would be considered for Oscars, and he should be remembered.
Right. But now, because it's so early in this year, he's not going to be talked about at all.
It doesn't have a fucking chance at this point. But the guy that directed it is Scott Cooper. Scott Cooper did Black Mass with Johnny Depp.
Okay.
There was another movie I liked with Christian Bale that he did called Out of the Furnace, I think it was called. It was him and Woody Harrelson. It's another deep psychological, storytelling into this guy. So it's still in theaters. It was released last week. Do yourselves a favor, go see it.
Okay.
And especially if you're a Bale fan.
Right. If you're a Baler.
If you're a Baler.
Well, I'm definitely a Western kind of guy.
Balian. I don't know.
But
I guess
Rory
you're Baler.
Cochran, the guy that was Slater and Dazed and Confused, he was fucking phenomenal.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And just like the look on his face.
It's probably one of these movies where like everybody's like A game plus in this. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, because even what's her name from Gone Girl? What's her name?
Rosamund Pike.
Yeah, Rosamund. She's just she's another one. She just exudes like gravitas.
Yeah.
Like she's probably like uber serious all the time.
Like if this
like
was
in real life. Like,
if this was released a month ago, this would have been serious contention, and it should.
all right. Now is it wide
I'm
release?
sure by the time we see our other movie fan, Ed,
yeah.
he'll have watched this as well, and you guys can discuss this.
Quite
Yeah, I mean, I hope he sits through it because the first 10 minutes of the movie
probably a lot of blood.
might be enough to turn that off.
It's pretty intense.
A lot
It's got some
of
intense.
gore.
Yeah, and it's the fact that they're not
Flinch.
shy about who they
Yeah.
kill on screen either,
Gotcha. Right.
as far as children.
Right. Boom.
Ooh.
Right out of the fucking gate.
Right.
In your face.
It's about showing how rough and nasty.
hostile.
Hostile.
Hostiles. Excellent stuff.
So is Pantera's fucking hostile in the soundtrack?
No, but I would love to
Damn.
edit my own personal music video to that.
Yeah, give it time. You got plenty of time.
Just the opening scene. Fucking hostile.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Wow. The fact that you could tells me a lot about the movie.
I saw it on a Monday, and there was a handful of people in there. There was about maybe 12 people in there,
Okay.
plus myself. A few people in the theater, like a few of the women, definitely just went, "Oh my god!" You know what I mean?
Right,
in the first
Right.
10 minutes. You know what I mean? Just like, "Oh my god! Oh, I can't watch this."
I can't watch it. I
And,
can't watch it.
Yeah,
All right.
Comanches are some
Comanches.
crazy people.
Yeah. Wilson.
Yeah.
What is Wilson? I see you got Wilson in the notes.
Wilson is a movie with Woody Harrelson.
Okay.
The great Woody Harrelson.
All right.
Daniel Clowes. He did
Clowes.
He did.
I don't know how you say his name.
He wrote the graphic novels to Ghost World and Art School Confidential. He wrote one called Wilson, graphic novel. And they adapted that into a movie, and it's basically about a fucking middle-aged guy who tells it like it is. You know what I mean? He's just fucking maybe me in 20 years.
All right. You can see yourself relating. I got you.
No, it's just that he basically finds out that his wife, who he misses, because she was just a fuck up in life, and
Okay.
and she's played by Laura Dern.
All right.
He finds out that he thought she had an abortion and she didn't. She gave the kid up for adoption. So now he finds out he's a father.
Right. Okay.
And he's so optimistic Like he's one of these guys who's in your face. He tells it like it is, and now he's optimistic about reuniting his family.
Oh shit!
And moving on, and it's just the shit that he gets into.
All right,
you know what I mean, which includes jail. You know what I mean?
So this is coming or it's out?
It's out. It's out. Like you can like watch this.
Right.
And it's Woody Harrelson. It's Laura Dern. A couple other people I can't think off the top of my head. But again, Woody Harrelson is just phenomenal in this. You know what I mean? And he seems to be belting out like 5 movies a year. It seems.
Yeah. Well, I guess he's gotten on a lot of people's good sides now, and
yeah.
You
know what I mean?
Anything that might have like alienated him from people in the past, because it seemed like something was going on for a while. I don't know. But
things were
a little slow. There was a slow period. I don't know if that was personal or if it was just like some people just weren't working with him because of things he might have said or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure at the time.
But whatever it is, he's always been an excellent actor.
Yeah, and he's good in this.
Even back in Cheers.
Oh, it's from day one.
I mean, you have no choice but to laugh. I was laughing.
Oh, sure.
From the moment I saw him.
Yeah, it's almost a shame he wasn't doing a lot more comedy stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. What was the one? Oh, Kingpin.
Oh, Kingpin.
Yeah.
Kingpin is another great one. Zombieland.
It seemed like Zombieland. It seemed like after True Detective season 1, like he kind of was doing a lot of serious stuff.
Right before
doing a run.
Right before that, because he got nominated. Yeah. He got another nomination for a war film that he did. And like right from that, he was just like falling into these amazing pieces that he's doing. Yeah. Even when he was Larry Flint. When he played Larry Flint.
Oh, yeah, he was great.
Oh, he was phenomenal in that.
That movie was really, really good.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was very impressed because I wasn't very interested in seeing it. Yeah. And so when I did, I was like, wow, I couldn't stop watching the story.
Right.
There's a movie he made I keep meaning to try and track down. I forget that he made last year or the year before, where it's a reenactment. It's this live thing that he put out, and it was a live reenactment of an evening he had. Right, it was a live reenactment of these 2 hours. It shot live in real time and was broadcast to movie theaters. It was this live, like one and go type thing.
Yeah, I do.
And
I remember.
Supposedly, like like they managed to get like real lucky. Like a lot of times, supposedly when like it misses, like the timing or whatever of how everything's supposed to be planned and carrying out, because it's all like he's moving through London as it's all going on. It's like this one crazy night he had in London when he was fucking fucked up out of his head, and a bunch of crazy shit happened to him. So in reenacting it all, like only a couple like misfires or whatever happen, and when they do, they kind of pivot real well. But, so you kind of it's so meta as it is, but in those moments they work out really well. Like really got lucky that it didn't have any like big upset like fuck ups or anything. I forget what it's called, but I really want to keep.
Yeah, that would be that's a pretty brazen and ballsy thing to do.
It was a crazy thing,
like, and just from an acting standpoint.
The promo that he did for it, like the trailer, because he's like, okay, we can't do a trailer for this because we haven't shot it yet, but here's what the plan is. Like, you know what I mean? And it was like him just kind of telling you and pitching it to you. And it was like, it should all go down good, but that's what we're doing. Like, and it was like, wow, okay.
Right. Well, that's actually some cutting edge stuff, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Streaming live.
While they were doing it, one take.
Yeah, in London.
Streets of London. Yeah. All this kinds of shit. And, I mean, it was an experiment type thing, but it's always one of these things I keep always meaning to look up.
Watch something called Defendor. You know what that is?
No.
He plays like an off his rocker superhero. It's kind of like Kick-Ass in a way.
Okay.
Where he's just
I don't even think I've ever heard of it. Oh my God.
What is this now?
It's called Defendor.
Defendor.
It's an R-rated, like, I don't know if he's special needs or whatever, because he sees a psychiatrist and shit like that.
I just looked it up and I saw my face. I was like, what the fuck is this?
It's him and Kat Dennings. I
so
believe.
I'm just going to like the images real quick. Oh, wow. He's burnt and bent in this. Okay, I see what we're going for here. Some duct tape to make the letter D on your chest. Okay. All right. Real grounded.
Funny.
I got you.
It's funny.
It looks funny. All right, so check that out, kids. That's homework tonight, I guess.
But, yeah, definitely these were 2 movies I saw this week, and they were great stuff.
Wilson and Hostile.
Wilson is funny. I just found it funny. I know it didn't go over well with some people, but I can understand like where he's coming from.
Right,
and
you've met people that are kind of like crazy like that. I think
not that I'm like that. It's
no, but like it's in a wheelhouse. It's just, it's still relatable because it's like people of that type or people who kind of hit that mark a little bit. So it's like exaggerated version maybe, but still very real in a way.
I'm just thinking about it, laughing.
I'll have to check out the trailer. All right.
So yeah, those are 2 recommendations for me.
All right. Let's jump into some emails. See what the kids are saying in the land of the emails. This email segment brought to you by Bugles.
So I think you can edit that out.
Fuck it, lean into it. Brought to you by Bugles. Wait, hold on a second. Let me get a fresh one. Bugles.
Yeah, how are those
from General Mills?
How are the
ranch
ranch ones?
Okay, this is obviously now a snack segment.
I just want to taste one.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen, Bugles have been around for 20 years.
It's about time they figured out
good.
they figured out to put flavors on them.
Yeah, they only did one for like 10 years.
Yeah, salt. Salt flavor.
Ain't bad.
So the ranch ones ain't bad. The ranch flavoring they use is pretty good actually, compared to like some ranch. Like every ranch chip or snack tastes different.
Right.
Like there's never any kind of like uniformity. I mean, nacho cheese doesn't get quite close either sometimes, but I feel like it's closer. Like ranch is just this wild spectrum of something that's just like kind of garlicky.
Well,
there's so many flavors that are mixed in there. I think sometimes they don't mix them well.
Even Doritos Cool Ranch isn't the same as when it launched. Like I remember
Chad NV and the Hizzy.
Oh,
and he says, "Fucking Bugles, official bong snack."
Official bong snack.
It's true, Ed.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it to be such a hit with the bongers.
Well, these are a late 80s snack.
Oh, yeah. These disappeared for a while.
But like you said,
yeah,
they've been the same flavor.
Salt.
For 10 years.
Everybody loves salt-flavored Bugles. Available now.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. 30 years.
No, whatever. I'm fucking probably longer than that. Who knows? Somebody look up...
Coming soon. Extra salt.
Well, they just did a caramel.
Salt and vinegar.
There's a caramel and there's a sour cream and onion.
The caramel ones, I was telling you last week, are Mazos. Like, if you love that salty sweet kind of thing, just insane.
I like
just insane.
Like Cracker Jack, like caramel popcorn.
Yeah,
like,
right. And the failure of that is that it's popcorn. And only good popcorn is fresh popcorn.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like,
but I like Cracker Jack.
Yeah, I mean, because that's like, we know it's stale, so we just cover it with more hard shit. And you might want to wear, like, a
Crunch and Munch.
Yeah. I'll crunch a bunch of Crunch and Munch. I'll crunch a bunch of Crunch and Munch.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into the mail. How about that? All right. Let's do that.
Is it about Bugles?
Well, maybe next week, since we talked about it this week. Maybe next week is when the Bugle mail will come in, and we'll have to get a Bugle. All right. First one is from... This mail is sponsored by Bugles. Everybody's favorite. We gotta find some audio of Bob Uecker talking about Bugles. Everybody's favorite.
What about what's his name?
Fuck, the guy from Boar's Head.
No, the guy from. What's his name?
Harry Carey?
No, I'm thinking. Well, you're in the right area though. The
it's
fake one, the guy
Carey.
with the show. The guy with the show who does like the commentator.
What's
his name? I'm trying to remember.
I can't remember. Ed would spit that out right away. Like, I know what you're talking about. It's the Hank Azaria.
Right. Yes.
His show about the sports announcer guy. Right. Oh, hi everybody. Harry Carey.
Steph Muniz.
I am totally hammered right now. Alone outside.
Alone outside, sponsored by Bugles.
Steph said that Bugles were introduced in '66. That
Thank
can't
you.
be right.
Sure it could. You weren't around then, Jay. I mean, you feel like an old soul, but you ain't that old, man. 66, that's before your time. I remember seeing them a lot when I was a little kid. Like, you know what I mean? But that's a blur as to what year is what sometimes, because it's like, I was born in 76. So that means, like, stuff I can remember is at the tail end in, like, 79. Like, and random shit before that. Like, you know what I mean? But,
so what we're saying is that they've been the same flavor for 40 years.
Yeah, until last week. You know what I mean? Until today when you brought in ranch, like, I knew about 2 other flavors. Now it's broadened. We have 4 now. 4. Almost. Look at this. This little logo, America's #1 finger hat. This little logo, it's only on 4 fingers, not the thumb.
That's right.
Hey, because they know your thumb is too fat to fit a bugle.
That's true.
But and this only works on little kids anyway.
All right.
But 1 for each flavor: salt, ranch, nacho cheese, and caramel.
Okay.
Again, this email sponsored by Bugles.
Okay.
They didn't pay for it.
And who's this from?
Steph Muniz, host
Yeah.
of the Gotham Lights / Orville Lights podcast.
Hey, Steph, huh?
Yeah?
How you doing?
Steph, how you doing there, Sammy?
That's how you say hello. Hey, Steph, huh?
How you doing?
I just,
Yeah, that's
just stop
it.
at
What do you call it?
I think
Baby
that's
cakes?
funny.
Baby doll.
Hey, baby
Baby
doll.
doll.
That's it, baby doll.
Talk to me.
How you doing, sweetness?
You realize she's
Sweet.
someone else's baby doll, right?
She says, hey, you guys. As she always does. I was chatting with Chris Meyer and Palmer yesterday about craft beer.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I know you don't usually. I know you're usually drinking spirits during the show, but is there a favorite craft beer that you all might have? That'll do it for me. Short and simple. Bill likes them that way. Take care, fellas. Your pal Steph.
You want to go first?
She gets a bell for a perfect email.
Yes.
I'm weak in the category of craft beers for 500, Alex.
Yeah, me too.
I like Blue Moon. I think that's probably like
You saw me standing alone without a dream in my heart?
without a dream in my heart.
Does Molson Golden count? Budweiser?
You know what I mean? Like I don't even know. I don't even know. Like, am I allowed to mention these? Like, do I get laughed at if I say Blue Moon? Like, that's a white ale pilsner. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I failed this test.
Yeah. All I know is the last one you brought home tasted like grass.
There you go. And that might have been intentional. We don't even know.
Yeah.
As someone who drinks,
Yes. You'd be most qualified.
well, the thing is this: beer. I liked beer for many, many years. As I've gotten older, I've lost my taste for it. Really. So now,
It's the
in my
hops.
older age, I only drink like regular shit, like Coors Light and fucking
Right.
Bud Light or whatever it is.
Right.
Molson Golden and Molson Ice was always my go-to beer.
Molson Ice.
You know what I mean? Or like an ice beer like that. I was never a fan of dark beer, not Guinness, or that, the Black and Tan or shit like that. Yingling is okay. But other than
So, Chad and V is coming to my aid a little bit. He says Blue Moon is a wheat beer.
that, yeah, I don't care for it.
How about Dinkelhocker?
And he also says
Dinkelhocker.
Dinkelhocker. Sometimes just the names alone are just worth it.
There's an Italian beer called Moretti.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
That's good too.
I didn't know it was Italian. I didn't realize it was Italian, but obviously, yes.
Well,
We
Moretti.
used to buy.
Right, I know. With the guy.
We used to buy at the main deli. We used to buy pony kegs of Dinkelhocker for $10
Nice.
and bring them up to the
One
school.
for each year.
Bring them up to the castle at the school
Back when they were a
and drink
nickel.
them. And drink out of that for a while, and then go back
sure.
and get another one.
It's fucking
Well,
good
there ain't
times.
nothing like a good old Meisterbrow.
Yeah.
Well, when the evening's kind of
Lowenbrow.
when the evening's kind of special.
Does O'Doul's count?
That's Ed's beer.
By the way, Chad said that.
Yeah. Well, he'll do shots of his cough medicine on the side too.
Chad says that when we were starting up Steph's email, we were like, "Hey, baby doll," it sounded like she was walking past a Staten Island job site, like a construction site or something. Hey, how you doing? Hey, oh, look at those chicken cutlets, huh? How about a little bit of that Parmesan, eh?
Hey.
That's just how. I'm sorry. You know,
Shaking the bacon there, baby.
it's not about It's we would say that to any lady because we're classless. It's
make
not
a-
about you.
You make a blind man take another look.
Oh, that's a compliment, though. What are you talking about? Why are you
Yeah,
so
but
mad?
it's a cheesy one.
Why you so mad? It's a compliment, eh? Come on.
Come back here.
Where you going? Where you going home to your husband? Eh? He's a jerk off. Douchebags.
Baby doll.
Oh, God.
Every time you walk by, I lose a little blood from the brain.
You know what I mean?
I'm saying?
Eh? You know what I mean? That's because it's so big, honey. I get lightheaded. Do you get the reference? No, all right. Stop this. This is
What
nonsense.
you do to me? This is what you do to me.
This is nonsense. All right, so let's see what we got next. Do we have anybody else? We got this guy.
Didn't we already almost kind of do his music?
Yeah, because we just mentioned his name.
Yeah, that's right. You stopped yourself, though.
Because I was like, let's not turn it into that thing.
Right.
All right, so this kid and his questions. Oh boy. Warning: spoilers ahead. But it has been about a month or so.
Last Jedi.
It's Last Jedi.
Of course.
I think this is covered in our Star Wars special, though. I mean, but given the way that Luke died, Sorry. Let's play some sad. Let's play some sad music for Luke. Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Well, he's
Warning,
not
warning.
dead. He's one.
Warning, spoilers ahead.
He's not dead. He's one with the Force.
He's one. He's one with the Force, Luke.
He's one with the Force. We all know he's coming back as a Force ghost.
Gotta be some level,
Of course.
even if it's just one scene,
Oh,
one
yeah.
moment. I mean, but that's the nature of his
It's all he's
question.
got these days. He needs the paycheck.
Okay.
But that's the nature of his question. Is, do we think we'll see much of him in Episode 9? And what about other movies in the future if 9 can... And what about the other movies, I guess, in the future if 9 concludes the trilogy?
Well, he doesn't necessarily have to pop up in anything that doesn't tie in
Obviously.
some way to Skywalkers, you know? So,
Here's my theory on this whole thing.
but you could always make an excuse for it.
Yeah.
My theory on the whole thing is that he is now one with the Force. I think that we might see, this is just speculating now, that I feel that Luke Skywalker will play a prominent role as a Force ghost. The first time we will see something like that, made from a Force ghost as a major character through something.
It would be interesting. I mean, I think that's, hey, it's all open now.
Right.
After this last one, it's like people have to learn to kind of either be more willing to accept, like, things that are going to be not like what you've seen or weren't expecting.
Right.
Like uses of the Force or displays of the Force, this kind of thing. And or just know that it's probably going to happen again. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to, you know what I mean? Whether or not, like, you want it to or not, like, the potential is there for it.
Right. Here's a good question, though. Will we see Leia as a Force ghost?
Oh, shit.
It's possible. She's been in enough movies.
The Council of Force Ghosts.
They could age regress her. I mean,
Yeah.
what was his name? Tarkin? Mm-hmm. Moff Tarkin? They did him. He was been dead for, what, 30 years? 20 years? So
And that art book that I was talking about to you recently, Jay,
The Art of the Last Jedi?
that, did I knock down your microphone?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
right over here.
No, you don't have to be right on it.
Oh,
You don't have to be. You don't have to be all up in people's heads.
like Joe Cocker.
Don't eat this microphone, Joe. That's just
All I need
it's
is
not,
my
it's,
mind.
it's not ice cream.
Feels like forever.
What the fuck was I saying? Resisting the urge to try and do Joe Cocker because I know my
From
voice is
The
still
Last
fucked up.
Jedi to Joe Cocker.
Yeah. Right. So if Joe Cocker is
Le-
the Last Jedi, then wait, no.
Leia as Force ghost, I think we were on that.
Yeah, we were on that. Right. You're gonna see crazy shit.
Yeah.
That's not where I was going, but that's
No,
where
I
stopped.
agree with that. I think that we're going to see another level of Star Wars that we haven't seen.
Right.
Hopefully, maybe that Force Ghost thing will finally be explained.
the art book.
Indeed.
The art book. That's what I was saying. So in this art book, it's all conceptual art based on ideas and stuff that they had that they didn't use.
Right.
You know what I mean? As much as stuff that they did. So in there's stuff about Sith ghosts.
Yeah.
That's
Like they-
that's
like-
an interesting idea.
Like, hey, if the good guys have ghosts, why not the bad guys?
Yeah.
Because if it's all just, a different, one angle of the spectrum versus the other angle of the spectrum, then it should both have that ability. And so it's a thing where, like, I think they might have shown it or had it happen in one of the TV animated series. So there was, like, at one point a conversation about it anyway. Where is this art book?
I think it's called The Art of the Last Jedi.
Yeah, I forget the actual name of it, but that sounds about it.
I think that's it.
You know what I mean?
They come out every movie they release. They release an Art of book.
Right.
I think
Right.
that's where it comes from. Because the one with Force Awakens, they were going to open the movie with Luke's hand in space,
Right.
still holding the saber, which was interesting and a little
Right.
fucked up. But
Yeah. That was one of the drafts of one of the scripts.
right,
Was that you would roll down from the text to the all the star field, and it's like, oh, what's going to roll up? Is it going to be a ship? Is it going to be a planet? And no, it's Luke's floating hand
right.
with the saber, and it was all about how the saber ended up with Maz Kanata.
Which they said they might tackle.
Yeah, which because that's basically like it's inferred. If you think about it, at some point somewhere it was drifting, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the idea, right? Is that was a bottomless hole.
Right.
And then he falls out and grabs onto a satellite dish
Well, whatever
and can breathe in space or something.
whatever falls from that
Yeah.
Cloud City weather vane gets whatever objects fall gets jettisoned out into
Right.
space.
Right. And he held on to something.
Right. The only thing that I find with that is Cloud City hangs over the planet of Bespin, which is in the atmosphere.
Listen, let's not get into the science.
But I'm just saying because
So
if
something falling from that height's going to shatter pretty good?
No, because it's basically in the airspace,
So,
not space. In the planet's atmosphere.
Right.
so ask and you shall receive, Chad. Where is this art book? It looks like Sammy found it on Amazon. And
course she
put
did.
a little link into the chat room.
That's because
Well,
she looks
thank you,
out for
Sammy.
us.
She's good. She's a
Yeah.
good kid. She's a good kid. So,
She's kind of standing in for somebody we all know.
yeah,
yeah.
well, you know, she's a producer
Helping
too.
out. Yeah,
People
she
don't know
produces.
this, but she produces a little bit of stuff.
That's right. What's she produce again?
I don't know. Gotham something,
Yeah.
Orville something.
Fucking
Lights.
Star Trek.
Let me get a pack of Orville lights.
The Wrath of Palmer.
That sounds good. Orville Lights.
I mean, pack
Mental or non-mental?
Because I was saying that last time, like Gotham. Anything with the lights on it now sounds like it to me. I need a pack of Gotham Light 100s.
Hey.
So,
Gotta say that like this.
what is the next? I thought I did by default. Wesley's email is still going here. One other question. What is the one thing you don't want to see when you first walk into a con? Like a convict? He means convention. Like, what's the first thing you don't want to see?
I think that's best done. That's best answered by our resident con fan here, horror con guy, Uncle Jay.
Well, I don't think Chiller Theater, the con I usually go to, qualifies as the cons they're talking about.
Well, who knows?
Because the cons that I go to, Bob would be there with me. 'Cause
Right.
they're all metalheads and shit.
Right.
And horror films and metal music go hand in hand.
Yeah,
They'll
fair
prove
enough.
that.
To a degree.
So basically, it's more of like a cool fucking kid hangout. More than it is.
I love that your take on it is that's where the cool kids
But
go.
it's true.
So it's more of a mosh pit than,
Right.
than a nerd pit.
Right.
You won't
right.
see,
It's
like,
a sound
because
effect.
I've been to both.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I've been to, like, Wizard Cons.
But there's not a lot of cosplay at horror conventions.
Yeah,
though.
there is.
Well, there is. So I think that's kind of like
It's Jason,
another thing.
Freddy Krueger, Pinhead.
Well, yeah, it's probably.
Well, the
yeah.
one thing about Chiller Theater is that the Saturday night of the weekend, they do a costume contest.
Oh, that's right. You told me about that. That's
You know what I
right.
mean? So
Yeah.
basically, when they have it in April, you're having Halloween in April. Basically.
Halloween in April.
So, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to see anybody. I don't know. I mean, it's
No, it's a weird question.
odd. What is the one thing I don't want to see at a con?
You know what? You probably don't want to see like long lines. Like I don't want to see it overcrowded and super packed. It's cool because it brings a vibe, but then it makes a horror show to do anything.
Right.
To get around or to stand on lines. Like, you don't want it to be empty because then it just feels sad and pathetic. Like, oh, this thing is dying or something, probably. Like, if you go to a convention.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I've been to a lot of conventions. And, like, when I went to the fucking Jacob Javits now, like, it's impossible to move in a lot of areas of that thing for most of the time.
I don't want
And
to
it's
see.
like,
I don't
this is
wanna-
not what it used to be.
I got it. I don't want to see Ed O'Hare's Star Wars Last Jedi review.
Why are you going to bring that up? That's not just going to be laying around.
Yeah, it is.
It's not like he's got a booth going where, like, I'm just selling copies of this one episode of a podcast. Get them kids while they're hot. Fresh episodes. Fresh copies.
Please buy it. Every time it shows up on the internet, they destroy it. You got to keep it alive.
Trying to sell them like a street vendor. It's terrible. All right, well, that's all we got for that one. I mean, I don't want to see, like lines or too overpacked.
Well, you know what I wouldn't mind seeing? I wouldn't mind
No.
seeing, like, Pikachu, somebody dressed as Pikachu kicking Ash's ass. Just to give you an idea.
I don't
know
want
what
to
I
see
mean?
any of my ex-girlfriends.
Ever, anywhere, though. Like, ever or anywhere.
Except maybe one.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Yeah.
I have no problems with any of mine.
Tom Brady. I wouldn't want to see Tom Brady at a con.
Chad V says, I don't want to see a Jar Jar Binks stage feature poster. That, like, somewhere there's a Jar Jar Binks
Yeah.
performance going on somewhere.
Jar Jar the musical.
And Sammy, who actually, works at conventions, says, I agree, lines are the worst, especially in Phoenix when Comic-Con is in the summer and the lines wind outside.
Oh, I'm going to the Phoenix Comic-Con.
Well, yeah?
Yeah.
He's going to crash that, too?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Coming through the skylights?
Absolutely.
I'm not crawling through the air conditioning vent. You know why? Because I bet you got a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because it's in Arizona.
Like,
I bet you just got to ask Sammy to get you in the back door.
Yeah, but like, Sam, can you give me a pass? Can I just get a free pass?
they're easy to get to.
I took the flight down here, Sammy. Like, I'm here now. Come on.
Yeah.
Really?
You're not going to get me in? Sammy! Sammy!
Sammy, it's hot as fuck.
Get me in. And then she slams the
All
door
it
on
is
me.
is an extra lanyard. That's all it is.
So you just got to go there with a whole bunch of lanyards, different colors, and then when you find the right one, you just put that around your neck.
Exactly. There's a box
So
of
if
them.
I take my New York City Comic Con card, my pass from like 2014 or 2015, whatever that was,
Yeah.
and just put it on a new lanyard that's from that convention, that's all I need?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Well, you got to white out, the 4 and put 8 on it.
But the whole New York Comic Con logo is good. Memorial Day weekend this year, Uncle Jay.
All right.
I don't know what that means.
I'm flying out.
Oh, is that okay?
Well, I guess that's when it's going to be.
Or I'll drive there with the Jeep.
Oh, snap. Here he comes. Here he comes. Actually, they moved to wristbands.
Okay, well, that's even easier.
Come on. You know?
How many?
I just get a plastic strip. What's the color this week?
All you're talking
Blue?
about is all these produced wristbands.
Yeah.
And they're in a box.
That's all.
There you go.
There you go.
Bon
Yeah.
appetit.
Bingo, bangle, bangle. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're only going to get me when I try to come in and I got to scan it or something. You know
That's
what I mean?
me. Uncle Jay in
All
Phoenix.
right, she'll get you the floor plan.
That's it.
You know?
A floor plan and a shovel, that's all you need.
It's going to be like an action adventure movie, like where she's now.
Hey, Steph, we're going to talk.
Like she's a hostage, and like we're like, just give us the wristbands, lady. Just give us the wristbands. It's all about getting these wristbands. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so stupid.
No, all you need is a shovel. No, because it's all sand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You just dig underneath. It's all sand.
Tunnel.
Tunnel your way in.
Hey, Steph, you do
Pull
know.
El Chapo.
It's not real dirt. It's sand.
It's sand.
Right?
Steph, you do
How
know.
hard could it be?
I'm no engineer, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Some of Return of the Jedi was shot in Arizona,
Well, it's true.
in Yuma, Arizona. The sail barge, the Jabba sail barge scene, that was all shot in Arizona. Wonder if she knows that.
I really shouldn't be eating these snacks. It's distracting to me.
What else? What else is?
That's it.
Yeah. So
That's it. It's Andrew Wesley's thing. He says, and if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Wes.
There you go. I'm sorry, Wesley. This is. I do not cue them at all. It's just what happens.
No, she's never been to Yuma. I believe that's southern Arizona,
Oh,
if I'm not mistaken.
it sounds like it.
Yeah. But it's just one of the few. It's one of the few instances where a Star Wars film was shot here in the States.
Ooh.
Because I think the speeder bike scene is in the Redwood Forest in Cali, too.
In the Redwood Forest of Cali. All right. Well,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Now we're getting into illegal stuff because Chad's like, I have an RFID replicator. So I don't even want to know what's going on here now.
So I have an RFID replicator.
Basically, I can sneak you into any public.
And what we can do is we can smack Ed O'Hare in the face with it.
Well,
'Cause he
that's
doesn't like Canadians. And
That's what he's going to do.
that's what he's going to say. He's
It's all going to be an ambush to get at Ed.
Ed O'Hare's a fucking bitch. And
Whoa.
that's it.
Chad and V. Really laying it on.
Terrible.
Terrible. Who knew?
Yeah, you ever notice Ed O'Hare is not on What's Your Work?
Oh, shit.
You ever noticed that?
Oh, shit.
Because Ed's not invited?
I don't blame him. I mean, it's just hostility. There seems to be like some kind of hostility involved.
Exactly.
You know, it's not nice. It's not good. It's not good. It's not healthy. All
I'm
right.
going to go hang out in downtown Vancouver.
Yo, is that where you're going?
It's a shithole.
Downtown VC?
I'm sure Chad knows what I'm talking about. A lot of crime over there.
Oh, I bet. All right, bet. Yeah. Sammy agrees with me. Don't reveal that in public chat. Okay. Anyway. All right. So with that, we're going to wrap it up. But if you're listening live, stick around because we're not done yet. We're going to go into the after show.
Yeah, I got a little treat for you.
That's
After
right.
show.
A little treat. A little football movies treat.
Yeah, Super Bowl weekend, and since a lot of people don't really care about it, I got a couple movies you can watch in its place.
Oh, how about that? Some alternatives.
Yeah. I got a few things I could add into that real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See?
there you go.
We got an after show.
That's nice. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move it on. We're gonna move it on. I'll play a little song during the break. You guys can enjoy that. It's a very special song this week.
Here we go.
I think they'll love it.
It'll be an explosion, man.
No, but it is probably it's another memorable one. It's another memorable find.
Well, I got to urinate, so.
All right, well, do what you got to do. It's all good. So with that, we're just going to wrap it up. If you ever want to hear the after show and you missed it live, it's only available on our Patreon account, patreon.com/Wicked Theory. $1 a month gets you all the after shows. If you come in at $3 a month, it also gets you the exclusive episodes where this month Jay did his first one. And that guy Jay, you can find him on Twitter at Crunchy Crunch Crunch Crunch.
You should have just went, and you can find...
Yeah, I should have just jumped right over, right? Let's just let it be the thing. You can
Uncle Jay's thing.
And Uncle Jay's thing. With that, you can find Bob.
At Bob WTPC.
At
Bob WTPC.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. In the last 5 minutes, I've lost my ability to speak. Wow. Okay, and then I'm at Wicked Theory. The show's at wickedtheory.com. iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, you know that stuff. I think we're done. Stick around if you listen live. If you're
For
not,
more William, Robert, and Jason.
I did not say that. I never would.
Who are you talking about?
Who are those guys?
What is this? What are the feds? What are the cops here? Yeah. Brother Bob, take us out, please, whenever you're ready. I've never been so offended in my entire life. Oh, it should be at Surly Crunch.
And there's the name of your show.
That's crazy.
The Adventures of William, Robert, and Jason.
Put the mic over.
It's true.
Oh.
We know.
Yeah.
I was done.
Oh, I didn't.
I thought we were off.
Yeah, the mic never went over.
Is it still on? Are we still on?
Yeah, it was still on. There you go.
The Wicked Theory podcast is heard live every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern until whenever. Just go to mixler.com/wicked-theory. Mixler is MIXLR. Sign up to join the chat. Then click the follow button to get reminders whenever the show goes live. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, wherever good podcasts are given away for free, and at wickedtheory.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/wickedtheory. There you can get the after show if you miss it live. God forbid. Plus other exclusive episodes. As always, send your emails to podcast@wickedtheory.com.